This tutorial is basically to get you to know how to do the casino heist setup a lot better, well, easier and more efficiently. So first of all, when you do the setup, gold and paintings are the best way to go. There's no doubt about it. If you get cash, then you do the reset method. If you don't know how to do the reset method, then I will do a separate video on that. The approach, you want to alternate between the big con and silent and sneaky. Don't go for aggressive because that way you have the most chance of losing money. People who are new to the casino heist always say silent and sneaky is the hardest to do. It's not. In fact, it's probably one of the easiest once you get the routine going. I did make a video on this sometime last year or the year before on how to do this approach really easily. So I won't be making a video on that. This is specifically about the setups, because sometimes the setups take long. And the good news is these setups that I'm going to show you will be done solo. Some setups obviously require you to go backwards and forwards all the time, but there's nothing we can do about that. Usually that is the vault drills and the vault lasers. So yeah, I'm just going to set myself up here. I need to do, okay, so 5% on this guy, 5% on this guy. And depending on which hackers you have and which take you have, it's good to have 9% for gold. If you have paintings, go for 7%. When you and one other person are doing the heist, you can get all paintings with a 7% hacker. But as I have gold, I'll be going for 9. In this video, I'm going to go through the first 3 here. So first of all, I'm going to start with the hacking device. Well, so first of all, when you walk out the building and you notice that you're not wearing an FBI suit, this means you have the noose mission. The noose mission is by far one of the worst missions to do for the hacking device. It's a 50-50. You can either get the FBI mission or the noose mission. If you do get the noose mission, the best thing to do is just go straight back into a private session. And that's the advice I have for that. Now, when you do get the FBI outfit, you know you're good to go. Using the Oppressor Mark II is probably the most efficient way to do these quick. Either that or a Sparrow. You can also use a Deluxo, but a Deluxo is a lot slower to fly. The best part about this mission is, if you're playing with 2 people, both of you have to be here to pick up the card, which is really frustrating. But when you're solo, obviously, you just get to it. Obviously, approaching this, it's easier to do this without the cops being on you, so never stop in front of anybody. Once you got the briefcase, just run straight back out. Don't get the cops after you. This mission is impossible to not have the cops after you, but it's best to do it as swiftly as you can before it does happen. The cops won't come after you until you get past these gates here. Once you do, just start legging it. Obviously after that, just lose the cops and you're good to go. And once you lost the cops, straight back out. The next mission is going to be a bit more difficult. So with the cars, you always have to drive them back. There will be 2, obviously. Minimum 2 people at the heist. You can pick any car with this. Yeah, obviously some are fast. I always go for the easy no matter what, because yeah, there's a couple of missions you can do with the easy. You can either steal them from the cops, take them away from the export mobs, the guys who are like trying to export the cars, or you have to get them at an airstrip where they're taking a race. I believe that's the only 3 missions. Now, for me, the easiest mission to do is stealing them from the cops. If you have this one, you're good to go. Stealing them from the airstrip is not a bad idea either, only if it's in Los Santos. If you have the location at Sandy Shore, then you might as well restart it. As for the export, this is also easy, but some of the locations can be in Palito Bay, so if you do get this, make sure it's one that's closer to you. Well, I just got the cop one, which is very easy. I also forgot to mention that you can get the one where you have to steal them from the hotel as well. I also don't recommend the hotel one, even though you don't get cops on you, but it does take the longest. The police one, or the import-export one. These 2 missions, personally for me, are the quickest and more efficient. with that, you also have a 50-50 chance of getting that mission. Now, with the cops, you can actually do this without getting the cops on you. Every location has a police station. There's always a police car outside of it. If you go around like this, they won't see you. And then walk straight in. This works at every location. Once you're inside, it's basically the walking guy here that you need to avoid. The cars are always in the same place. One in the top left corner here, and one in the top right corner over there. Now usually in this next part is where people make the mistake, but if you drive around like this, the cops won't come after you. And it's easy as that. There is no quick way to deliver 2 cars, but doing it like this is probably the more efficient way. From the import-export, there is a lot of mobs there, but they're easy to kill. And once you've killed them, they're pretty much no problem anymore. Plus sometimes you do get a cargo bob which spawns there, which is also a great way to transport them. And again, doing the same thing as before, when you come back to grab the second car, just avoid the cops here. Don't need to shoot them just because you're locking on. Now for this one, you can drive that car and move it, but usually I try and squeeze myself through here very stubbornly. Again, just drive all the way around. And then back to your arcade. So here's a tip. If you get the airstrip one, where they're racing, don't do it. If you get the cargo one, the one where they're exporting, try it, only if they're closer to you. If you get the hotel one, I'd say yeah, why not? But it might take a bit longer. Okay, and now finally, the SMG loadout. There's 3 missions for these. One is stealing them from the Lost. Sometimes they will spawn in Palito Bay, but some of the times they will spawn in the city too. This is probably one of the best and fastest missions to do. There is another mission you can do as well, where you have to go to the import-export on the coast. This is also a good mission to do. Also one of my favourites because you can carry 2 guns at the same time inside the plane. And the third and final one is the noose fans. With the noose fans, it's hit and miss, because the noose fans can either spawn in the desert, in the countryside, or in the city. If they spawn in the city, then I'd say go for it. But if they spawn in the countryside or desert, then you redo the mission. Okay, so I've got the one with the import-export, and the thing is, there is a trick to do this quicker. Once you get here, just go to the yellow marker, and you'll either have to go left or right. In this case, we have to go left. It says here we need to search the coast and take out the smugglers, but we don't need to actually do that. The fastest way to do this is to first locate the plane, which is right here, and then park somewhere close with your oppressor, let's say on this small island here, and then make sure you quickly put your oppressor away before it falls in the water. I think I did that in time. And then just swim over to the plane. You can park your oppressor on top of the plane, but most of the time for me it always falls in without me being quick enough to pull it away. And the best part about this mission is the fact that this can be done solo. You don't need anybody else to do this mission with you. And that's that. And once you finish the mission, instead of flying all the way back, just find a new session. Easy. This takes about 10 seconds. It's way more efficient to do it this way. And that's it for this video. I will be back with another video to explain how to do the other ones on the big con, but for now, this is the first 3, and I will see you in the next one.